people of Aptim TV. Behind every successful man, there is a story to be told. Every generation is remembered for the men and women who answered God's call. Some are remembered for the things they built, others for the wealth they acquired. But a few are remembered because they became vessels through whom God touched countless lives. This is the story of one such man. Long before the crowds gathered, before the testimonies filled the altar, before the sound of celebration echoed through the congregations, there was a journey of faith, a journey of sacrifice, a journey of an unwavering obedience to God's voice. When many chose comfort, he chose purpose. When the road seemed uncertain, he trusted the one who called him. What began as a divine assignment has become a beacon of hope to many. Some people speak to inform, others speak to inspire. But when God sends a messenger, his word carries power. For years, multitudes have gathered to hear the truth of God's word, delivered with conviction, clarity, and grace. Sometimes the message comforts, sometimes it corrects, sometimes it challenges, but it always points people back to God. Through countless sermons, teachings, and impartations, lives have been redirected, destinies have been awakened, and faith has been restored. Because when God's word finds a home in the heart of a man, it cannot remain silent. Love is more than a message. Love is action. When we talk about the show of love, we talk about a man who's selfless in nature, a man who always prioritizes the needs and well-being of his followers, not just about the material things, but the empathy and understanding that comes with it. A man whose silent act, language speaks volume. A man whose giving charisma speaks sense of purpose and fulfillment. A philanthropist in nature. A father does not merely preach love, it demonstrates it. Behind the scenes and beyond the spotlight, hands have been lifted, burdens have been shared, and hope has been restored. A father's heart does not merely preach love, it demonstrates it. A prophetic professor, a man whose words are filled with so much wisdom, a man whose prophetic voice has been used to cure sickness of various kinds, bring about marital settlement, financial elevation, and many more. A man whose life is about illuminating the past, present, and future, brings about internal positivity, change in the life of individuals through his prophetic lens. A man whose prophetic capacity shifts humans' understanding and leads us into a meaningful existence. Again and again, what God revealed has become a testimony in the lives of his people. Not for applause, not for recognition, but so that faith may rise and God alone may be glorified. For 9 glorious years, with no mercy for demons, God has used his servants as a mighty weapon against the kingdom of darkness. Through his ministry, family altars have been destroyed, ancestral covenants have been broken, and generational curses have been shattered by the power of Jesus Christ. Many who came bound by fear addiction, spiritual oppression, witchcraft attacks, and many demonic manipulations have left completely transformed. God has used him to bring freedom to the captives, restore broken destinies, and recover what the enemy has stolen. For 9 years, this servant has stood on the front lines, declaring freedom to the captives and demonstrating that the power of God is still alive and active today. He is a man God has used and is still using as a mighty instrument of deliverance. Beloved, for 9 glorious years, God has used the servant as a channel of healing, restoration, and hope to his people. Through his ministry, the sick have been encouraged, the weak have found strength, the broken-hearted have been comforted, and many have experienced the healing touch of God. Testimonies have emerged from this battling pain, infirmities, emotional wounds, and conditions that have seemed impossible, proving that God remains our healer. When others saw weakness, God released strength. When others saw impossibility, God revealed his power. When others had given up hope, God brought restoration. For 9 years, this man of God has faithfully led people to the great physician, Jesus Christ, through whom lives have been renewed and faith has been revived. Leadership is not standing behind and giving instructions. No. Leadership is walking ahead and showing the way. During church rallies and outreach programs, this man of God is always at the forefront, moving from street to street with passion and determination. From the very beginning of the rally to its successful conclusion, he actively invites people to church, shares words of encouragement, and inspires believers to spread the gospel. His dedication, energy, and commitment to winning souls have made him a shining example of servant leadership, touching lives and drawing many closer to God, inspiring a generation to serve God with passion and with purpose. In the midst of this divine encounter stood a man of God, a prophetic pastor, known for his deep passion for God and his unwavering faith. From his early days of ministry, he dedicated himself to prayer, fasting, and the study of God's word. Through his prophetic grace, many lives were transformed. The sick received healing, and the hopeless found direction. Ask those whose faith was strengthened. Ask those whose tears became testimonies. Ask those whose lives found direction through divine counsel. Ask those who encountered God's love through a helping hand. His story is not written only in sermons. It is written in transformed lives. To some, he is a teacher. To others, a mentor. To many, a father. But behind every title, beyond every title, is a man devoted to God's purpose and committed to God's people. A man of faith, a man of vision, a servant of God, a blessing to generations. And now, we celebrate the grace, the impact, and the vision God has entrusted to his servants. Active with a standing ovation and a clapping ovation, let us celebrate our Father, the Supreme Commander, the founder of Aptim TV, and the President of Apostolic Power and Testimony International Ministry. And it is no other than our spiritual father, Senior Apostle Daniel Oga Okache.